It's only round 3 of the WNBL 2019 championship race, but the Sydney Flames are threatening to implode. They've lost their opening 3 games and arrive here in Townsville without arguably their 3 best players, but they'll get no sympathy from the reigning champions Townsville, who have also made a slow start to their title defence, just 1 win out of their first 3 games, and they're desperate for success as well, as we welcome you to Townsville for Fox Sports' continuing coverage of the WNBL. Hi everyone, I'm John Casey alongside 300-game NBL veteran Cam Trigard, and what we know, Cam, is we've got 2 desperate teams here this afternoon.
We do. It's going to be a fantastic test. You mentioned Sydney. I think Coach Cheryl Chambers, she'll need to pull a bit of a rabbit out of the hat, need to junk it up a bit. But the champs at 1 and 2, they need this one as well. We
were looking forward to the clash between 2 of the all-time greats of the competition, Belinda Snell and Susie Batkovic, but no Belinda Snell today and no Alex Bunton, no Talia Tupaia either for Sydney. But Susie Batkovic, well, she is a winner. We know what she's going to bring to the table.
An absolute champion. She brought it back in 1996 when she came in the league, and she still brings it every night. It's a bit of a farewell tour, but I think she wants to go out on her terms.
Well, let's look at what's happened so far in terms of results for these teams, because for Townsville, they played their opening home game here against Dandenong, who have been something of a bogey team for them, and got the job done. Dandenong by 5. A good result from Townsville in Adelaide, winning by 10, but that was closer than a 10-point margin might suggest. I was lucky enough to catch some of that action. And then across in Perth, well, Perth 98 points. Giving up 98 isn't going to please the Townsville coaching staff, which we have to say has changed today as well.
It has. Mark Roble, he'll sit in the big chair for the first time, replacing Claudia Brassard, who is absent this afternoon. But you mentioned that Adelaide game, 23-14 run in the 4th quarter is what got it done for Townsville. Well, they might sit 0-3 case.
Claudia Brassard, of course, well, she is away with the Australian under-19 team at the moment, and that's why Mark Roble steps into the hot seat. And for the Sydney Flames, well, their first 3 games, it has been quite a disaster for them, because they have lost their opening 3 games, and as you can see, 2 of them were at home, dropping a game to the Capitals, who made a lot of noise already this season, and also to the Boomers. And in between that, a tight struggle against the Dandenong Rangers. But we know winning form is good form, and unfortunately for Sydney, they haven't been able to get across the line.
They haven't, Case, and you mentioned the key omissions that they'll face as well this afternoon. They're the number 8 rebounding team, even with those players facing the best rebounding side in the competition, the Townsville Fire. I think they're going to be too big, too strong this afternoon.
Well, these teams between them have won the last 2 titles. Townsville, the reigning champs, Sydney the year before. So to see them sitting at the foot of the Chemist Warehouse WNBL ladder, well, that is very unlikely.
I never thought I'd see the day, and it speaks volumes as how the rest of the competition has improved. It wasn't that long ago we were sitting here in last year's semi-finals talking about these 2 teams might be the best in the competition. Well, they've got some work to do.
Well, for the Townsville, let's have a look at their starting 5. And they do have a lot of quality here, international players as well. And as you can see, Susie Batkovic, well, she is going to lead the charge. But we've got Laura Mincy, Michaela Donnelly, Stella Beck in there as well. And as you can see, Tess Madden, who had such a good campaign at the World Championships or the World Cup, with Australia taking the silver medal.
She did, and also Stella Beck, the rookie, getting the start tonight. The Fire coaching staff very impressed with her week of training, and she's been thrown in the deep end in a very important game for this club.
Darcy Garvin back to the bench, and somewhat of a surprise. So Mark Roble, and in concert no doubt with head coach Claudia Brassard, just making some changes.
I like it though. She is the microwave. She comes in, she gives that instant offense, instant energy. I think Mark Roble didn't want to give away that punch off the bench.
Well, let's get the Chemist Warehouse team talk and hear from Susie Batkovic. Susie, up and down start to the season. What's gone right and what's gone wrong?
I think we're just trying to find our feet a little bit with a new team, and obviously we've got, Tess that's been away and she's come back in, so it's been a little bit of a slower start than normal, but there's no alarm bells at the moment. Thinking back to last season, I think we went on a 2-2 run, and we won the championship. So it's not panic stations just yet, but I'd like us to flow a little bit better than what we are.
This is the start of a 3-game stretch at home, so maybe this is a time where you can consolidate.
Yeah, that's the plan, and we're playing at home, which we absolutely love, and we've got amazing fans. So I know, I love playing at home. The girls love playing at home, so I just want to make sure we bring it for them, and hopefully they can help us get over the line.
A new coach this afternoon. A bit of pressure on Robes?
No, I think he's fine. He's been part of this program for such a long time, and Claudia and him are very similar. They're on the same page, so it hasn't really been a disruption, Chloe leaving and Robe stepping up. So it's all been business as usual, and nothing's changed. So we know what we've got to do, and we just got to make sure we bring it, tip-off time.
Flames arrive here a little underpowered. They've got some stars out, but you don't want to be taking them lightly. No,
you can't. And, you've seen these games like this before where some studs might be out and the other team comes out and they play really hard and they can come away with a win. So, we're coming in with our scout. We're ready to go. It doesn't matter who's on that floor today, but we're going to make sure that we get our job done.
So it's more about what you do as opposed to what you need to counter them with.
That's right. We have a game plan and we've just got to make sure we stick to it. I think in the past few games there's been times we've gone away with what we're meant to be doing. So for us, it's focus on what are we doing on offense. We're running, at the pace we want to run, but defensively we need to lock down, and that's something that we've been focusing on all week. Our defence hasn't been great against Perth, so we've got to make sure that we bring it up at least 5 more levels as opposed to what we did last week.
Appreciate your time. Good luck today.
Thank you.
She has a terrific poker face, Susie Bakovic, trying to talk down the disruption, Cam. New coach or the assistant coach stepping in, changes to the starting 5 as well. Fortunately for Townsville, they have a leader with her experience on the floor to hold it all together.
They do, and she mentioned the experience with Mark Roble as well. He'll fit in seamlessly, but anytime you have Susie Bakovic, I think Claudia Brassard thinks, I can go away. Susie will hold this down for me.
Well, the Sydney Flames, they have an almost unrecognisable starting lineup here today with their big stars out of the team, including Bunton, Snell and Tupaia. So here's their lineup with Walmsley, Smart, Panousis, Alex Wilson and Sinead Greaves coming in as the starting 5. Bring some energy. They need to be hard at it early and just be competitive, try and hang in for as long as they can against a superior team in terms of the players on the court.
And they still have some firepower there. I think Alex Wilson's off to a good start, 10 points, 5 assists a contest, but talking to the Fire coaching staff, they're really going to come after her on those on-ball screens. Amanda Johnson will come off the bench for the Flames. I probably would have started her. I think the start's important. When you're undermanned, you don't want to get behind early.
Their 3 games so far, they haven't been able to come up with a win as yet. But so 3 games in, no result. If they go 0-4 here, it's certainly going to be a big hole to dig yourself out of.
It will, and those players who are injured will perhaps have to rush back. Maybe they're not fully healed. It really puts your season behind the 8 ball.
So some pressure on Amanda Johnson, the American recruit. She is the feature of our Chemist Warehouse Team Talk. AJ, first season in Australia. How have you found the WNBL?
Well, I really appreciated the competition. I think if you look at all the sides this year, there's a lot of talent. We've got obviously off to a little bit of a rough start, but we know what we need to do to kind of get our feet underneath us, and we're excited to have that opportunity here today, see how we go.
Tough to come in here against the reigning champs, though, without 3 key players.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think you look at who's out and their productivity for us in these first few weeks, and taking that into consideration. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of players on our roster that can play. So we just show up, do our best, and see how the ball falls.
And you had success in Queensland in the past. You've won the QBL MVP here.
Yeah, this past season playing for Ipswich.
So this won't hold any fears for you being here, and of course the humidity. It's just all par for the course now.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's fun to play against a couple of these girls again because I got to see them in the QBL. Zatina played for Logan, Mick Cox played for Townsville, Donnelly I think played for Toowoomba maybe. So it's good to see some familiar faces, and obviously I'm with a different group, they're with a different group, but that's kind of a cool thing about Australia basketball is you get to compete against the same people in different contexts and just see how it goes.
And in the past, you played in Switzerland and had success there with MVPs as well?
Yeah, definitely for a club out of this little town called Riva San Vitale in the Italian region. It was beautiful. But yeah, that was a fun time.
Well, great to have you here in Australia. Good luck today.
Thanks, John.
Amanda Johnson, or AJ as she prefers, certainly a character, and travelled around the world and enjoyed a lot of Queensland so far, Cam.
She has MVP in the Queensland State League here, so these fans will be well versed at her potential and what the damage that she can do. So I'm excited to see when she's injected into the game what she brings, Case.
And we mentioned the fact that Alex Bunton is not here, Belinda Snell and Talia Tukwaya, and many of the WNBL fans will be curious about Talia. Had concussion, was vomiting after the game after a nasty head knock. We understand she is going to be fine, and in fact Alex Bunton and Belinda Snell hopefully are going to be playing next week for the Flames.
Yeah, really good that they're going through the proper protocols as regard to the concussion. You see it across all sports there, and we wish her a speedy recovery and can't wait to see her on the floor.
So good crowd building here as well in Townsville. It's round 3 clash between Townsville and the Sydney Uni Flames, and as we mentioned, it's going to be competitive. It's going to be a big task for Sydney. We know they're a special franchise, and these teams of course met in the semi-finals last year, with Townsville able to sweep 2-0 on the way to the grand final in the championship.
Yeah, I was here, Case. A lot of passion, a lot of emotion in the building, that game 1 especially. Townsville really jumped out on the Flames' guard. They double-teamed the on-ball screens. I expect them to do the same thing tonight, particularly with Wilson and the smaller Sarah Graham starting. I expect huge ball pressure. And a late addition as well for the Flames, Amanda Johnson. She will start. Coach Cheryl Chambers injecting her into the lineup, saying we need to get off to a good start early.
And Darcy Garvin, I notice, is going to start as well. So both teams just making some late changes here as we get set to go. Opening quarter action from Townsville, round 3 of the Chemist Warehouse NBL. And Susie Bakovic goes up against Amanda Johnson, and it is Townsville. And we win the opening tip, looking to the left of your screen. And it's Lauren Mincy, Bakovic around the perimeter, Imagine, and now Donnelly. Looks for the baseline, found some space, reverse layup, just couldn't find the target though. She gets after the loose ball, rebound, just couldn't keep it alive, and Sydney will get possession.
Yeah, nice little set there, side-to-side action from the Townsville Fire. Rejected the screen by Donnelly, just couldn't come up with the finish.
Good work there from Wilson, picking up the floor with authority. Now they swing it back to her. She got an open look, punch off the front of the rim. Good body work from Johnson there, just getting a little underneath Susie Bakovic.
It was. Great job. Worked her under the glass there, and that's no easy feat. Susie very strong on that glass, and Amanda Johnson saying, I'm going to take the fight to you tonight, Susie. Watch it here.
Like to see.
Wedges are under and earns another possession for her team.
Like to see Britt Smart get involved early here. New recruit for Sydney this season after winning the MVP for the Melbourne Boomers last season, averaging 12 points a game. And in the absence of those bigger name scorers, as in Alex Bunton, who's averaging 21 a game, she's going to have to step up the offensive end as well. This is firing and connecting with the opening shot, Sarah Graham. Nice finish from Sydney as they get the opening score. Magden gets it from Bakovic, goes back in that direction. 60 seconds played here in the opening quarter. Bakovic was fouled. This will provide, and Sinead Griggs in the vicinity is going to pick up the foul.
That's a bit of a scouting report error. Watch it here. Watch the little shimmy from Susie. I'm going to come back right. Now I'm going to that money left hand that's been so good for 20 years. You can't go for that little shoulder fake. Got to cut off that left hand, get her back over that other shoulder.
And good from the free throw line this season, Susie Bakovic, 8 of 11 at 73%. What a reliable player she has been right throughout her stellar career. One of the most decorated players in Australian basketball history, male or female.
Just an absolute legend and a warrior of our game. Played through so many injuries. She comes up with, or nearly comes up with, I think I jinxed her, one of her 1 million rebounds that she's got in the last 20 years as well. But yeah, male or female, she is an absolute warrior of our game and an instant Hall of Famer.
So the referees confirm. We're going to restart here from the baseline. And Ali Wilson will do the honours. Just over a minute played here in this opening quarter. Sydney, the only field goal so far, a three-pointer from Sarah Graham. Smart, Wilson, get past Mincy, gets down low, nice move, and finishes it off with the left hand as well.
Well, the Townsville Fire coaching staff have told me porkies because they're quite soft on the perimeter pressure at the moment, and Sydney able to just go right down Broadway and lay up that ball. Townsville need to wake up here a little defensively.
Donnelly athletically down low and off the glass, comes up with the Fire's first field goal of the game. Graham made an enterprising start. Matkovic reaching in from behind, dislodges the ball. She gets after it. Sarah Graham recovers. Shot clock rolls to single numbers here. Down to the baseline. Smart running out of real estate. Then forced a tough shot up. Couldn't get it. Matkovic the rebound, and they're off and running with Donnelly. Imagine calling for it on the other wing. Shut down quickly by Smart, so they need to reset. Wanted Garvin down in the low block, but instead it's top of the key. Bakovic shares it now with Donnelly. Shot clock to 7. Bakovic fires, caught it deep, loose ball. Getting after it, Shanae Greaves with the rebound. Wilson, Johnson, the low block. Hustling away in close, off the glass, can't finish it. Garvin the rebound and gained Donnelly.
Really good job from Garvin there. Great footwork defensively. Shifted the feet. Great verticality. Good contest. Come up with the rebound as well.
Adjum with it. Baseline. Trying to get beyond Wilson. He did a good job and forced her into error. Comes up with a travelling violation. And a flop warning has been issued as well.
Just a bit of a sloppy start for the Townsville Fire, and always tough to play these games, Case. You're expected to win. 3 key players out. You're on your home court. You're the champs. It's just going to happen, right? Well, no, that's not how it works. You need to go and earn this W.
Wilson with it to the elbow. Now the retreat. Greaves gets Smart, and she splashes the triple as well. Enterprising start here from the underpowered Sydney Flames. Quickly at the other end, Bakovic goes to work. This was initially, but came up with a clean-up too. Good work, Graham. Greaves, Smart, baseline, shut down. The shot comes now, but it's a little deep. And a chance for Magin. A loose ball rebound off to Donnelly. Vinci joining in on the other wing. She wants to shake Graham down to the baseline and going with a reverse layup. She's been good with that.
She is so fast. That change of direction and then the acceleration. She's made a couple of blow-bys already. Sydney going to have to make an adjustment.
Sarah Graham hands over and Johnson fires. Connect. And the ball trickles out of court. Almost 4 minutes played here in this opening quarter.
The Sydney Flames is number 5, Vanessa Benucci. She takes the place of Sarah Graham.
So Sarah Graham gets a rest. Good job. Good early. And now Donnelly. Vanessa Benucci. Wanted Garvin. Johnson almost came up with a steal. She's forced the error nonetheless. Just did enough to worry Darcy Garvin out of it. We spoke with Darcy Garvin pre-game, and she was trying to keep an eye on the Australian netball team at the Fast Fives because her sister Sophie is playing for Australia.
Shout out to the Garvin family watching at home. What a talented crew they are.
Here's Johnson against Garvin. Wilson. Shot clock works for 10. She fires from the elbow, a little off balance, couldn't make it work. Smart couldn't find the rebound, as Magin does. Now Michaela Cox onto the floor as well. Can make things happen very quickly. Looks for the penetration. Gets the ball to Donnelly. Back to Cox, Bakovic top of the key. Shot clock to 9. Bakovic fires. Connect, loose ball. Garvin got a piece of it, kept it alive for Donnelly. Magin, and now Cox gets the open look, and it's all the bottom of the net. And Townsville take the lead for the first time.
And that is a coach killer for Coach Cheryl Chambers. Shania Greaves, excellent defensive slide on Bakovic, but they can't come up with the defensive rebound as it gets worse. A moving screen called on the Flames, and that bucket will be waved away. Poor Shania Greaves, she's working her absolute backside off and can't just get a lucky break right now.
Garvin to the bench. Middle stages of this opening term. Entertaining it has been. One stage, Sydney led by 5, but right now it's the Fire with a 2-point edge. It's Cox, top of the key. Magin sets, but can't connect. Just winning the rebound battle there. McSpadden did enough to keep it alive. Wilson, Smart, caught it in rhythm. Looks good off the hand, is good off the hand.
Brittany Smart, no one in this building would want to win this game more than her. The last time she was on this floor case was with the Melbourne Boomers, with the tinsel falling from the ceilings with a Fire championship. She wants revenge.
Wilson treating away, just showing respect there for Susie Baktovic. Forces her way back outside the three-point line. Drew Baktovic with her. Long ball rebound, triples it out of court. Britt Smart said she was being inconvenienced. Referees didn't see it that way. Timeout called here, 4:27 to play in the opening quarter in a seesawing affair. Sydney back on top 11-10. And we mentioned Susie Baktovic has decided this will be her last season. Belinda Snell likewise is going to call time on a stellar career as well. And look at the numbers and some of the accolades that Belinda Snell has come up with. Going to the Olympics in itself is a highlight. To do it 3 times, win a WNBA championship, win 3 titles here in the WNBL and titles all around Europe. She has been an amazing player.
An icon of our game in the exact same category as Susie Baktovic. We mentioned her. She'll walk straight into the Hall of Fame when she retires. Well, Belinda Snell, she's in the exact same category. I haven't seen a better perimeter shooter in my time watching the league than Belinda Snell. When she gets one in the air case, I think it's going down.
Don't let them come up with them anymore. Great start. Way to go. Sydney, play.
Well, Sydney coach Cheryl Chambers will be happy with what she's seen so far. We mentioned at pre-game that for Sydney, without their guns that aren't here, they just need to hang tough for as long as they can and be close enough down the stretch.
They've got to break it down into mini goals, 5-minute blocks. 5 minutes here, the next 5 minutes. They're +1 right now. I've been impressed with their junket up defense in the lanes. Townsville, so they've been a little bit sloppy.
Neither team really lighting it up at the moment. Sydney 4 of 12 at 33%. Townsville 4 of 9 at 44%. As Madgen and Baktovic combined. Here's Donnelly. Took over 4 minutes out from quarter time. Cox joins in, guarded by Smart. Shot clock rolls to single numbers now. Cox goes on with it. The experienced campaign. The reverse layup wouldn't work for her. Johnson the rebound. Out pass to Panousis. Got Wilson in support. McSpadden joining in as well. Here's Johnson. Smart. Away from Donnelly to the baseline. Elevates nicely and came up with the goods as well.
She is outstanding right now. I love her aggression. She said, oh, our studs are out. Well, I'm a stud as well. Get on my back. I'll take you to the promised land.
Flames by 3. Smart has 6 points on 2 of 3 shooting. 2 of 2 from deep. McSpadden doing well there. Good hustle though coming from Ali Malott as well. Just making a contest there, but it is going to be a Sydney ball. Not before we see Casey Samuels check in for Townsville. Former Sydney player. And you see the good hustle there. Love that from Ali Malott. Just coming in, trying to get a hustle play for her team.
Well, Ali Malott and the 17-year-old McSpadden thrown in there with Alex Bunton out of the game. Going to come in the first quarter. Hasn't seen much action in the opening rounds, but she'll see plenty tonight. Doing a very good job battling inside.
3.5 minutes left, opening quarter action, round 3 of the WNBL. And Britt Smart, well, she is singing at the moment. That's 3 of 3 from deep.
She is, and Malott giveth, Malott taketh away. That closeout just not going to get it done on the red-hot Smart right now.
They've scored the last 8 points here, Sydney, and Townsville have got some work to do. Samuels, Baktovic, Cox, shot clock to 5. Good defensive pressure from Sydney. Cox off, pound away pass, and gets the job done. Chance at a 3-point play.
How's the footwork from Michaela Cox? Watch it here. Loses the ball, keeps the pivot foot alive, step through, fumble fake, gets him every time, Case, and one.
It's your favourite move, I think, Cam.
It was the fumble pass. That was the only way I got assists.
Michaela Cox, interestingly, first time to the free throw line this season for her. Didn't get there in the opening 3 games, somewhat surprisingly. But she's iced the extra.
She has, and I had to double check her stats. She's 3rd in the team in rebounding at a touch under 5 boards. Easily the smallest player on the floor, but a lot of heart as the New Zealand captain.
Oh, McSpadden just looked off Susie Baktovic, but didn't count on the support coming from the weak side. And here's Baktovic in the paint where she's so dangerous, and Susie Baktovic comes up with the 2. She now has 5 in the game. Back-to-back baskets from Townsville. They steadied the ship after they found themselves down 6 with Spadden. Nice work off the window, comes up with the finish.
She's not afraid. Great screen. Young players watching at home, set your feet, roll out hard, and finishes. Townsville, the turnover's becoming a problem case. You've got to take care of the onion or it'll make you cry. Leading just under 20 turnovers a game for the Townsville Fire. Playing a part right here.
Now 3 already. Sydney with just 1 in that category. Smart has been outstanding. That looks good off the hand as well. She has hit rhythm here, Britt Smart, and turning it on as Sydney go back to a 6-point buffer. Cox, known contender from deep, this time can't finish it. Wilson grabs the rebound and off and running, get it to Britt Smart, please. She's got 11 points, including 3 of 3 from deep. We've got to keep working that. Wilson thought she was fouled. Referees didn't see it that way. And inside the last 2 minutes of this opening quarter, Sydney by 6 as Madgen brings Townsville back up the floor. Now penetrates against Smart, reaching in, almost dislodged it. Turnaround Madgen looking to create. Spadden did well there. Nice job from the youngster to grab the rebound. Wilson shares the ball now with Maddie Norris. Development player who stepped up in the absence of Button, and Smart knocks down another, but an offensive foul has been called on the play as well.
Referee Scott Brown has found the illegal screen over there, right as Smart, who's red hot, got it in the air. Sydney bench saying she got it off beforehand. Referee Scott Brown's waved that one away, but she is in fuego right now, Brittany Smart. As you said, Case, get her the rock.
So 4 team fouls now on Sydney. Townsville, interestingly, yet to commit a foul. Panousis and Greaves with 2 fouls apiece for Sydney. A little over a minute out from quarter time. Here's Stella Beck handing over now, getting support from Akuso and Cox. Working on Panousis one way, back the other. Top of the key, Ali Malott fires and she knocks down the triple as well.
Nice little pick and pop action for the Fire, but it's this end they need to pick up on. They need to lock in on Brittany Smart. No more soft closeouts, no more hand down, man down. Lock into her.
Panousis around the perimeter room. Mismatch here against Malott. Needs help. Provided now at the top of the key by Norris, who fires, can't connect. Loose ball out of court. Last touch by Sydney. So Townsville will restart with 40 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Cox up the floor, uncontested, takes them on, couldn't finish it from close range. It wouldn't work either for Akuso. But they've kept it alive here through Cox once more. They're firing, but misfiring again there with Stella Beck. And this time Sydney put a stop to it. The shot clock turned off here. 23.8 seconds left on the game clock. Pressure up the floor from Townsville. They don't want to give Sydney an easy bucket.
Just a little anxious start from the Townsville Fire here. Don't know if they're feeling the nerves. I'm sure Coach Mark Roble is in his first game thinking he's got to get this one done, but Townsville just needs to relax. It's a 40-minute game. Stick to your processes. Wear this team down.
Panousis casually. Top of the key. Now wants to get a little closer against Akuso. Picks up the dribble and firing in the corner. This time unsuccessfully, Maddie Norris. Chance now right on the buzzer. She couldn't control the pass there, Zatina Akuso. Can't come up with it, but an entertaining opening quarter concludes here. And the Sydney Uni Flames, against the odds, enjoy a 3-point break at quarter time. At the end of one, Sydney 21, Townsville 18. We'll have more for you here in your live WNBL coverage in just a moment. Welcome back to Townsville. Entertaining opening quarter, and the Sydney Flames, against the odds, -3 of their key players, find themselves up 3 points. 21-18 is the equation. It's on the back of the hot hand of Britt Smart. Suggested she might need to fire up today, Cam, and she's equal to the challenge. 4 of 4 from deep, 5 of 6 overall. She has 14 points.
We just seen 10 minutes of the Britt Smart show, and she should have 17. That 3 wasn't waved away as well. She has an absolute burner going on. 21-18 is the equation. It's on the back of the hot hand of Britt Smart. Suggested she might need to fire up today, Cam, and she's equal to the challenge. 4 of 4 from deep, 5 of 6 overall. She has 14 points. We just seen 10 minutes of the Britt Smart show, and she should have 17. That 3 wasn't waved away as well. She has an absolute burner going on.
Bakovic in the corner finds Cox. Shut down there by Panusa. Samuels fires and can't connect, and a bit smart doing it both ends of the floor. Comes up with the rebound. Johnson running for her. Goes back to Smart, and why not? Until she calls off, stay with her. The pass there, good active hands coming across there by Casey Samuels, who deflects the ball out of court against her former team. Johnson back for Wilson, who's been enterprising as well in the game. She's lost a handle on it. Bakovic, quick outlet pass now. Stella Beck wasn't ready for it, but eventually reels it in. Tough shot, worried out of the points. Got it back, did well there against Johnson. Oh, fantastic recovery from AJ as well as Johnson knocks it out of court.
Really good transition defense there, good verticality, good challenge, but that'll be 6 offensive rebounds for the Fire right now. That's one aspect where Sydney, they need to pick it up if they want to cause the upset this afternoon.
Bakovic against Greaves, too big, too strong. Susie Bakovic adds to her tally now with 7. She is the high scorer for the Fire. Close to within 1. They left Wilson alone, and they'll do that at their peril. This time she can't make them pay. Bakovic the rebound. Over now for Casey Samuels. Picks up the dribble. Kuso down low, working against Greaves. Dances into the paint with the right hand. A little too hard off the glass. Gets her own rebound. She's an exciting commodity. Tina Rakuso couldn't find the target. I love the work she does around the bucket.
Oh, she's an exciting athlete, Case. I remember watching here in the grand final. In the layup line, she's throwing down dunks. Watch this second effort. Bounce. Quick, I'll take that. Draws the foul. Doesn't quite finish the play, but that's offensive rebound number 7. I think they've come close to turning all of those boards into second chance points.
7 of 8 from the free throw line at 88% this season, so an unlikely miss there for her, but averaged only 2 points, 2 rebounds in 15 games last season, up to 8 points already, 62% from the field in the campaign so far, still only 19 years of age.
Yeah, she's a real project. You look how athletic she is. Big, strong, long arms. She's going to be a problem in this league for a long, long time.
Back on level turn. Panusas fires, can't connect. Bakovic the rebound. Dominant force as you would expect. She averages 11 a game to lead the WNBL. Can't stop her at the moment. Skinning opportunities for a team. Now she's trying to post up Greaves. Good battle down low. Kuso bounces into Greaves. Still came up with the finishing touches.
It took the contact. I thought that was an and 1 as well, but what a finish. And Sydney need to keep punching here, get something on the rim. Can't just keep jacking up threes, as that ball was definitely deflected by the Townsville Flames, Case, but can't just ping away and let Batgirl clean up all the glass and get Townsville running. Put some pressure on the rim. I know she's a big body in there. Take it at her. Make her work.
5 unanswered points from Townsville to start this second quarter. Played almost 2 minutes, and Sydney still looking for their first score of the term. Wilson, screen arrives there from Greaves to the elbow. Hands over now, chance for Maddie O'Hare, penetrating. Nice dish as well, created well.
There you go. Wing on ball, screen, roll, something on the cup. The other big pulling high to draw Susie away.
Tied at 23, Lauren Mincy. Up the dribble, Bakovic in the corner. They've left Cox alone right in front of the Townsville bench. She can't hit though, and Maddie O'Hare grabs the rebound. Now Smart running, confronted by Cox. Comes back to the top of the key. Hands over Johnson. They left her alone. A long way from the three-point line. Can't connect. Kept alive. Good hustle. Sinead Greaves there and draws a foul. She's off to the free throw line. As Darcy Garvin picks up the first foul of the game for Townsville.
Well, another really impressive patch for the Sydney Uni Flames. They keep punching against their highly fancied opponents. They're outworking them here. Townsville's got a lot of offensive rebounds. Well, hey, Sydney, go and get some of your own. They're doing just that.
Reaches the free throw line first time. And makes no mistake. Settle here into a slow start to the second term, and she makes both. And the Flames edge back to a 2-point advantage, having scored the last 4. Here's Garvin. Turns Samuels, now Bakovic, turn and shoot, got it off quickly, rattled around the rim, wouldn't fall though, kept alive, good job there from Donnelly, her and Garvin, but between them, and now a chance for Wilson, put a foot on the accelerator, got it off quickly but unsuccessfully, good recovery, Maddie O'Hare, back for Wilson, and she knocks down the triple.
Big time plays. Sydney are outworking Townsville right now. This is exactly how they have to play. junk it up. They don't want champagne basketball. They want this one to be ugly. Roll up the sleeves, ground and pound, get after the Townsville Fire.
7-0 run here from Sydney again. And working Casey Samuels against her former team with 5 on the shot. I've been impressed with Maddie O'Hare so far since she's come onto the floor, doing it at both ends. And here's Britt Smart, wheeling and dealing. Soft touch, can't connect. Johnson hustles in, but can only succeed in knocking the ball down out of court. Timeout called here by Townsville. 3.5 minutes played, term number 2. The Sydney Flames lead it by 5, 28-23. Reigning player of the week, Kelsey Griffin. What an impressive display this turned out to be in the road double. Came up with 23 and 14 in a win over Melbourne, and then 21 and 8 in the win against Adelaide. She was tempted to be thought about retiring, but I'm glad she stayed with it.
Get that ball. We've got to have desire. Great desire getting after it. We've got to back each other up. Okay. Offensively here, next possession, let's get dive for you if they're in a man. If they're in a man, go dive. If they're in, so on the next reversal, if they're in zone, let's go some gold. Okay, so go some gold, make sure you get the screen on that high guard, come off and attack it, and then go and slam the middle. Here we go. Right.
So I mentioned Kelsey Griffin. She was thinking about packing it all up, but being added to the Opal squad just reinvigorated her, and she's showing already she can be a star in this league, or can continue to be a star, because she has been a star in this league.
And no doubt, and sometimes that's all it takes, Case, that little recognition of your hard work paying off. She's been a great servant of our game for a long, long time, and she's certainly not done yet. It's great to see her back killing the league.
Fire haven't scored for almost 2 minutes here. They've gone cold at the offensive end, so they go to the main factor. Susie Bakovic, who turns around, adds another 2. She's now got 9 in the game.
What a great timeout set from Coach Mark Roble. Stand-in coach today. It's a middle pick and roll, kick back, slam it inside to our stud Susie Bakovic. She mops up another rebound.
Grabbing the rebound, holding off at her opponent, Sinead Greaves, at the same time. Madgen in the corner. This is Lauren Mincy firing. Can't connect. Loose ball. Johnson did well. Feeds Wilson, though. Teammates ahead of her for the moment. Switches play to Britt Smart. She fires the 3. She's been good all game and continues to be good. This is some sort of shooting display from Britt Smart. That's 5 of 5 from long range.
And her last couple of shots, she's taken inside, missed a couple of floaters, couple of pull-up jump shots.
2.
Britt, you're on a burner. You don't leave the table on a burner. Stay out there and keep letting them fly. You are on fire.
Well, she showed us last season as the Melbourne Boomers MVP that she's one of the stars of the show, and she is really turning it on here. Rattle around the rim, wouldn't fall for her though. Middle stages of the second. Again, the Flames find themselves a 6-point advantage. Wilson shares it in the corner. This is Maddie O'Hare, down low. Johnson misses from close range. Couldn't be rebounded. Now a chance for Lauren Mincy to lead Townsville back up the floor. Had Wilson on the retreat with a pass intended there for Tess Madgen. A little wild and out of court.
And just another turnover to go on the pile as they work their way towards their usual average of 20, which is just far too much. To put that into context, the Perth Lynx lead the league, as in least turnovers, with 8. So they're close to 12 extra turnovers than the league best, and that's what they've got to aim for.
Spadden with it. Shares it now with Britt Smart. She works for the elbow and knocks down another. They cannot contain Britt Smart at the moment.
Looks over here and says, shut up, Trigger, I can do everything.
So we've got an 8-point advantage, biggest that we've seen in the game so far. Sydney Flames looking strong here despite the absence of some of their key personnel. Hustling back at the defensive end as well, Sydney. 9 on the shot clock now for Townsville, who after scoring the first 5 points of the second quarter, gone a little cold. Loose ball scooped up here by Michaela Donnelly to the elbow. Unattended. They need to do a better job than that. Miscommunication, and Donnelly knocks down the shot.
Good.
6 in the game now for her. Sydney by 6 at the moment. Breeze rushes to the hoop off the window. Needed to do a little better. Gets her own rebound. Now wants support, provided there by O'Hare. Now Wilson fires, caught it deep, rebound, spills to Donnelly. Tick over 4 minutes to play in this first half from Townsville. Fire have their hands full at the moment. Imagine anything happening. Batkovic looks inside. Wilson stole the pass off and run. That's almost unsportsmanlike on the veteran.
Yeah, by the letter of the law, that should be an unsportsmanlike foul. Scott Brown missing the call right there. Simple one for me. No play on the ball. Lazy grab from Batkovic, and that should be 2 shots and possession for the Flames. But they'll inbound the ball from the side. But Case heard the whisper during the week that, you know, guards like Lauren Mincy, elite defender, they're going to get up and in. They're going to chase off the on-balls. But, you know, Britt Smart and Alex Wilson, they've been able to waltz off on-balls. Lots of space. You know, drop passes, open shots. It's been a real defensive effort from the Townsville Fire in this first half.
Wilson wanted Smart. She's getting close attention now from Cox, and they need to. Here's Maddie O'Hare for the penetration, now on the retreat. They find Smart. Look at Cox right up in a grill. Stole the ball, but did it illegally, according to the referee. And that's the 3rd team foul on Townsville in this quarter.
3-2. And I'm okay with that call, Case, because Townsville miss one and then Sydney get one back. I don't think that was a foul. I thought Cox, there's a lot of leather right there, as we can see on the replay. So, as it always happens, things tend to even up.
Here it is. Sydney by 6. They started this quarter leading by 3. Britt Smart, the star of the show so far. 7 of 9 from the field, 5 of 5 from deep, 19 points. It's been an unbelievable display. Shot clock rolls to 2 here. McSpadden, they're going to have to get it up quickly. O'Hare on the buzzer, can't convert, they'll keep it alive. Long rebound for Smart. Look at Batkovic get out there and try and shut her down quickly. They know how dangerous she is. They leave McSpadden to fire. Athletic rebound. Akusa, about 3rd in line, reaches over the top and snatches the rebound. Good recovery there from McSpadden, who went sprawling to the floor, but here's Satina Akusa. Donnelly, Batkovic, shot clock to 10. The left-handed turnaround from Susie Batkovic is all the bottom of the net. She's into double figures, has 11 points at the moment.
A little bit deflating for the Sydney defence. I thought they did a good job there, but what a luxury for Coach Mark Roble to have the legend, the Hall of Famer, Susie Batkovic, to just throw it inside and get a bucket.
Despite how well Sydney have been playing, the margin has been cut to 4 here. We've got 3 minutes left on the clock in this first half. And Cheryl Chambers, she's going to have to weave some magic in the absence of some of those key players. Let's see if we can listen in with the huddle now.
Just make a decision to go back there, okay? All right, we're going to go hand circle here. So for whoever it is, Vanessa, you're going to come in for Maddie. Great job, Maddie. So whoever, it doesn't matter, it's whoever we go. We're going all the way to hand circle, and we'll have the pick and roll. Remember, we're going to leave the big in the corner, okay? So we're opening this spot. We should have shooter out of it. Okay? Just continue to work hard and play hard. That's what's giving us rewards, all right? Don't get frustrated, okay? We'll get you in and out at some stage here, okay? Here we go, hand circle. Good job. Sydney, are you right? Yep.
I just love that timeout, Case, from Cheryl Chambers. I'm a big fan of hers, and even more after this afternoon. We call the magician. She's pulling a David Copperfield right now with her absolute studs. Watching back home in Sydney, she's brought this ragtag bunch of juniors here, and she's competing with the champions. What an effort.
Fantastic all round from the Sydney Uni Flames, giving Townsville all they can handle at the moment. Inside 3 minutes to play in the first half. Smart uses Panousis. Now a chance for Ali Wilson. Kick pass, Panousis yet to score in the game, off the front of the rim. And it's Tess Madgen with the rebound. Donnelly working hard for her. Akuso likewise taking up position in the paint. Now she's double teamed. The teenager attracted plenty of attention. Madgen forces away past and just lost the handle under pressure. Ball slapped down out of court. Townsville will restart. Madgen from range, fires, comes up with a 2. Important points, her first in the game, just to get some confidence going.
Tess Madgen just needs to relax and knock down some open jumpers. They're giving her plenty of real estate when she squares up. Keeps pump faking and trying to get in the lane. Just relax, knock that shot down like she's done 1,000 times in her career.
Oh, Britt Smart tried to work it to Greaves, who zigged when Britt Smart thought she was going to zag. They turned it over, Sydney. And Townsville on a 6-0 run here at the moment, just grabbing some momentum with a chance to draw level or maybe even take the lead as Sydney take Greaves out and bring back Johnson.
Well, nice substitution from Coach Cheryl Chambers. Important to keep that defensive edge up. And while Amanda Johnson, her numbers haven't been eye-popping this afternoon, she'll definitely bring the defensive effort.
Very competitive. Here's Madgen guarded by Wilson. Cox, inside 2 minutes to play in the first half. Penetration, nothing on offer. Bakovic in all sorts of traffic. They're just holding off McSpadden there and drawing a foul, which is off to the free throw line.
You know when you hold your younger sibling, your younger brother or sister up, you just hold them on the head while they swing at you? That's what that play reminded me of, Case. Older sister against younger sister.
Townsville 3 of 5 from the free throw line so far. Sydney 2 of 2. Susie Bakovic starting to assert her authority on the game. Had 5 points in the opening quarter. And into double figures here. And she's got 13. It'll look like missing from the stripe. We're back on level terms. Townsville has scored the last 8. Wilson exploring. Down low, McSpadden. Oh, good seal got in. Madgen appealing to the referee, thought she was inconvenienced and they didn't see it that way. Bakusa with a foot on the accelerator, lost the handle under pressure. Johnson scoops up the loose ball. Panuzis at close quarters. McSpadden penetrating, was free in the paint. They couldn't find a passing lane to her. Here's Wilson. Had the ball dislodged, has to retrieve it. Now decides to pull the trigger from well outside the three-point line, and Donnelly scurries after the long rebound. Quick outlet pass, Akuso slows it down. Cox gets it from Madgen. Here's Bakovic, takes the hit and couldn't finish it. An obvious foul called on McSpadden, and Susie's off to the free throw line once more.
I've been really impressed with McSpadden and the effort she's given, but she's guarding an absolute master, and she'll learn, she'll get better to know that Susie's going to look for that contact. She knows when you're not in a legal guarding position and when you can't make contact, she'll go to the foul line. And just preying off the youngster right now, but McSpadden, I hope Tess Madgen has a good chiro, because that screen she put on Tess Madgen, no joke from the 18-year-old.
Susie Bakovic coming to the party, pacing Townsville, the only player in double figures. She has 15, Smart has 19 for Sydney. Working against Cox, hands over now. They need to find a second scoring option here. Maybe it's Sarah Graham who scored the first points of the game. Wilson, guarded by Madgen. Johnson fires, caught it deep. Smart offensive rebound and the putback to add another 2 to her tally. She's got 21 in the first half.
She's still cooking, Case, but she goes to every offensive rebounding contest. She hadn't come up with any yet, but she is in there working every time. And as I give her props, she goes under a screen on Michaela Cox, and I can guarantee that's not in Cheryl Chambers' scouting report.
Didn't realise that the commentator's curse extended beyond the free throw line, but you've come up with a good one, Cam. Here's Wilson, down low, nudged out of position there by Ali Malott. They get it outside to Johnson, little lap of on him. McSpadden trying to keep it alive. Had it initially, eventually Malott put a stop to it. Tess Madgen brings Townsville forward. Last play of the first half. Madgen against Smart. Kicks to Bakovic. Puts it on the floor against McSpadden. Double team by Johnson. Good defensive pressure again from Sydney. Graham fires after the event. But an entertaining first half concludes in just 1 point the difference here. And Townsville, after being 3 down at quarter time, find themselves in front by 1. At the major break, it's Townsville 38, leading Sydney 37.
Defensively, if anything, they've got stuck into you guys a little bit.
Yeah, look, we started trying out to get a bit aggressive on the on-ball, and because of that, we got too far off the split line, then overhelped and left shooters open, and Britt Smart got going, and once she got her eye in, we found it hard to pull it back, so we just got to adjust that.
Well, she's hitting pull-up jumpers, offensive rebounds now. What is the plan for Britt Smart in this second half?
Oh, look, we'll have a talk about it, but obviously we just got to try and limit her touches, you know. She's going to get hers. If she keeps rolling, we've just got to make sure we look after the rest of the team.
Good luck in the second half, Rob.
Thanks, mate.
Mark Roble there. And now we'll get a word with Cheryl Chambers with Cam.
Well, Cheryl, super impressive first half from you. You're undermanned. You've had to junk it up. You've been pretty impressed with your charges right here?
Yeah, I have. Look, you know, we play hard. You know, we've got a lot of quality still out there. So the idea is just to play hard and get out there and change a few things. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but I thought the girls played really hard.
And your young players have stepped up brilliantly?
Yeah, they have. I mean, there's such potential there, you know, to give them this opportunity to play is fantastic for us. Not ideal, but fantastic. I think they're doing a great job.
And Britt is absolutely working her backside off right now. How do you keep her fresh? How do you get her through this 40 minutes?
Oh, look, she's a pretty seasoned professional. It will be difficult because it is a hard game and they're throwing it all at her. So, you know, hopefully we can get someone else that can fire her up and take a bit of pressure off her.
Thanks a lot, Cheryl. Good luck in the second half.
Cheers.
Cheryl Chambers there with Cam Tregar. This has been entertaining so far. Both teams desperate for success, and at halftime, a single point the difference. It's Townsville 38, Sydney 37. More after this. Welcome back to Townsville. Entertaining affair here between the Fire and the Flames. The last two championship winners, but the teams who are 7th and bottom on the ladder at the moment, and 1 point the difference. We suggested pre-game, Cam Tregar, that this would be a real battle, and it's a dogfight.
It is. This game is not going to script. The Townsville Fire are supposed to mop the floor with the Sydney Uni Flames, and Cheryl Chambers and her crew are having none of it.
Really like her mindset coming into this, and said it's not ideal, but it gives us a chance to give some of the younger players and the role players some extended minutes, and they're relishing it.
They are. We've seen contributions from across the board, but it's also been the Britt Smart show. She's been incredible, leading from the front. Come with me, young girls. We might be able to pull off something special.
And what she's done for Sydney, Susie Bakovic has been able to do for Townsville, but that's no surprise either. She's been doing it now for many a year, but 15 points, 8 rebounds for Susie Bakovic, including 10 points in that second term out of the 20 that Townsville came up with.
Well, it's a little bit of the LeBron James syndrome, in which she does it so much, we take it for granted sometimes, but 15 points, 8 rebounds. She's had most people's career high on just another day at the office for Susie.
And she's obviously attracting plenty of attention as well, so each time she penetrates, she's got multiple defenders on her, but she's still able to find a way to score and also get some offensive boards and get to the free throw line as well, where she's almost automatic.
Oh, she is. Great free throw shooter, great mid-range shooter, can extend to 3. I think the Sydney Uni Flames, they need to take away those easy points, the putbacks, the little duck-ins. Take that away, keep her to the perimeter. That's your only chance.
As good as Susie Bakovic has been, Britt Smart has been better. This has been some sort of shooting display. She's 5 of 5 from deep and had a 6th one waved away after an offensive foul was called, but she's 8 of 10 from the field overall. 21 points. We said pre-game, in the absence of Tapia and Snell and Bunton, she's going to have to step up. Well, I was expecting her to step up, but maybe not come up with this is an amazing shooting display.
Well, we nearly had to call the fire department case the way she was shooting in that second quarter. Just absolutely 3 after 3, and then she was putting it on the deck. Offensive rebounds. She's got the whole package on display. Absolutely working her butt off.
Really loving that at the moment. And another player for Sydney who's digging deep is Ali Wilson. 5 points at the moment, but a game-high 5 assists. She's been distributing when she can't contribute in terms of points herself, and she's really steadied the ship.
She has. She's been really poised off the on-ball screens as she knocks down the corner 3 right there. Active defensively, working hard as you see the steal, but you mentioned the 5 assists, really getting some of those younger girls into play off the rolls.
Get the impression that Townsville, well, they are threatening. They've got a couple of extra bodies they can use off the bench in terms of experienced campaigners. Michaela Cox is not only supplying 9 points, but she's also putting the clamps on Britt Smart as much as she can. And Satina Akuso, the youngster, the 19-year-old, what a career she's got going.
My goodness, what an athlete. She threw up the hook shot, got off the built-in mini tramp. I thought she was going to throw it down, but fantastic athlete. I can't wait to see what unfolds in the second half.
Great first half so far. Townsville 38, Sydney 37. We'll have more for you from Townsville in just a moment.
Oh, baby, be a man. Don't you go and cry. I hope you found in this a lesson to be learned. I'll walk away now.
Shake it. Come on and shake it.
Welcome back to Townsville. This is Michaela Cox going to work and knocking down the jumper there. 9 points for her in that first half, and it's really off the bench where Townsville have been able to keep themselves involved here. 15 points to 4 off the bench. Just with that extra depth, you wonder how long Sydney can hang tough here, but at the moment they're doing a good job of it, Cam.
They are, and Cheryl Chambers, I'm sure she's got a few tricks up her sleeve for the second half. Doing a great job taking care of the ball, Case. Anytime you're undermanned, just the 4 turnovers for Sydney, which goes a long way. They are -6 on the glass, but they're the worst rebounding team. They're undermanned. They're up against the best rebounding team. I think if you ask Cheryl Chambers right now, she'd take that.
And of course, for Sydney, well, they are here with nothing to lose. They're yet to win a game, 0-3 to start the season, 0-2 at home, and losing on the road as well. And their losses, well, they lost by 19 to the Capitals in the opening game of the season, and then by 12 to Melbourne at home. And their only loss on the road when they went to Dandenong, it was 66-62 there, so a tight finish, but this would be a remarkable win. And while they're 0-3 and on the bottom of the ladder, it's the type of win that can really be a platform for the rest of the season.
Can galvanise you, and you better believe those studs watching at home, if they are able to win this game, when you are filtered back into the roster, you say, hey, well, this is the level we need you guys to play at now. I know you're talented, but you can see how hard we're fighting. Get on board with us.
Britt Smart, 8 of 10 from the field, 21 points. That's almost good enough for a game score, let alone in a half. Sydney with a possession arrow as we get underway here, turn number 3. And Ali Wilson will bring Sydney up the floor. Gets it back from Smart. Harassed by Donnelly. Loose ball. Now she's got problems against multiple defenders. And possession arrow is with Townsville.
Just lost her footing there, Alex Wilson. Great first half from her, but maybe a little trip in there. Incidental. Let's watch it here. Just watch the feet. Yes, she gets a little ankle tap there from Donnelly, unseen by the officials. Unfortunately, they lose possession.
So Michaela Donnelly, 4 of her 6 points in the opening term when she was trying to set the standard. Guarded by Smart. Here's Mincy. Lauren Mincy, the score in the game. And they get down low. Here's Garbanor, needed to do a little better with the left hand. Couldn't finish it. Johnson with all sorts of traffic around her. Hands over to Smart. Graham ahead of her. Wilson comes to the ball now. Good screen from Greaves. Wilson back to Greaves. Gets an open look. Bakovic couldn't get there in time, and Greaves comes up with a 2. She's got 6 in the game.
Townsville with the champagne, a couple of Porsches in the front court, Bakovic and Garvin, but it's been the front line of Sydney. It's just outworked them. That was Garvin's first shot attempt in the game. Only played the 8 minutes in the first half. She's been a real non-factor. Mincy just the 7. They need those 2 starters to step up. This could start something.
Mincy can't connect. Shot clock was down to 5. Wilson hands over to Britt Smart, and again Sydney just with some momentum here. Smart penetrates. Wilson around the perimeter, looks down low. They left Johnson alone, and she makes them pay. Johnson comes up with her first score in the game.
You see the frustration on Susie Bakovic's face, but that's her man. She doesn't want to come out of the paint. She wants to mop up all those rebounds, but her play can knock down some shots and drag Big Susie out of there. Sydney might be a chance.
Well, Mincy working the baseline. Here's Garvin looking to make amends. This time uses the natural right hand to come up with the finishing touches. Sydney by 1 with possession. Almost 2 minutes played in term number 3. The double team arrives. Greaves, Johnson firing from deep. Can't connect. Bakovic the rebound. The 9 for her in that category. Threatening another double-double. It's almost a daily occurrence for her. Good strong move down low. Just getting into the body there of Sinead Greaves, who takes 1 for the team. Cheryl Chambers doesn't like it, wants an explanation here from the referees. It's working Scott Brown at the moment.
And I'm good with that. I like that no call. It was a great
That's
take.
the first question of me all
Susie
night.
Bakovic. I thought Greaves had position, I should say. I don't think it was a charge. I don't think it was a block. The ball spilled out of bounds. Townsville ball we play on.
Jackie Dover there, refereeing her debut in the WNBL today, working this game with Kylie Voverden and Scott Brown, so nice moment for her.
And she's doing a very good job. I don't think we've mentioned the officials very much. It's a thankless job. As you know, Case, when you do a ref and you do a good job, no one says anything.
Garvin gives it up to Mincy. High arc on the shot, and She knew what she was doing to come up with the finishing touches.
We'll ask and we shall receive. We've seen a Garvin power layup, a Mincy 3. Perhaps that's what those two need to get going.
Johnson running out of real estate, forced into error there and pops the ball up. Turnovers have really been the problem for Townsville, but that wasn't what Sydney were after as Townsville enjoy a 2-point edge. So it's a game of momentum swings. Here's Donnelly looking to swing it their way. Good active hand. Sarah Graham knocked down the pass. Just got into the passing lane, patted the ball down and then recovered it. Hands over Greaves. Here's Smart to the foul line. Picks up the dribble, wants help. Johnson. Shot clock to single numbers. Johnson fires the three against Bakovic, and she's come up with an excellent finish there.
May I have this dance? A little rock back crossover and splashes the three. You can see Townsville, they're starting to come after Britt Smart now on those on-ball screens. They're tired of seeing her splash them on them. Maybe it's Johnson that gets going.
Imagine works inside to come up with the bucket there. Her second of the game. After being scoreless in the opening quarter, Johnson takes on Bakovic. Track of the double team. Britt Smart turn around. That's a little deep. Donnelly the rebound. The game up for grabs here at the moment. 3.5 minutes played, term number 3. Townsville by 1. That's where we started this term. Biggest lead in the game was Sydney by 8. Middle stages of the second quarter. Good work from Wilson there. Had to be brave. Went back against the tide. Wasn't sure what was coming, but got a piece of it and now shares it with Britt Smart. Works on Mincy and reaching in. Foul's going to be called on Townsville.
Really impressed with the poise of Alex Wilson. It seems like she just goes at one speed all the time, but just goes by people. She's so poised. She picks her times to attack and when to pull back. She's made some really good decisions this afternoon.
McSpadden checks in, replacing Johnson.
And Tess Madgen just checks a few vertebrae, remembering that McSpadden screen and hoping not to run into another one. That was no joke.
Wilson guarded by Donnelly, top of the key. Shares it with Graham. Now Smart. A good recovery there from Deeb was from Tess Madgen. And now she wants to go hard back at the other end. And good hands from Britt Smart reaching and dislodges the ball away from Madgen, giving her a little bit of her own medicine. 4 minutes played, term number 3. Wilson exploring, picks up the dribble. They left her alone. It rattles around and it works as well. She gets her first bucket of the second half, up to 7 in the game, and only Britt Smart with 21 has more.
That's that on-ball play we spoke about. Just comes off, assesses. Do I have the roller? We see the take here from Tess Madgen. Eyes for the rim, but active hands there from Britt Smart, who's been in everything.
Good. All right, here it is.
And needed to be. Britt Smart to add to her halftime tally of 21, but a team back in front. 5 point middle stages of the third. Tess Madgen puts it on the floor, hits to Garvin. A mismatch there against Graham. Didn't want to take her on. Here's Madgen taking on McSpadden. A little too nimble for the tall timber. Kept alive by Darcy Garvin. Didn't get enough on the shot initially. It was knocked down by Wilson, and now exploring is Sarah Graham for the Sydney Flames. One way back the other. She's dangerous from deep. Scored the first points of the game from long range, but can't connect there as Bakovic grabs another rebound. Sydney just starting to fray at the edges here. Only a 1 point ball game. Wilson active, hands loose ball. Britt Smart gets after it. They've dislodged it away from Madgen once more, and Britt Smart looks like she's got scoring on her mind here. Drew the attention, got it to McSpadden, who couldn't control the pass, and Mincy cleans up. Opportunity goes begging for Sydney. Donnelly penetrates. Mincy had Garvin available but turned that down. They go to Bakovic. And a whistle off the ball. Graham's gone down on the play phase. I think it's going to be called for the foul as well.
Yeah, she will. I think she got the grab first. It's usually the smaller player that grabs first, Case. As a big, that's my story, and that's what I'm going to stick with. But I think Darcy Garvin just got a bit upset. Let's watch it here on the turnaround, see if we can see it on the weak side. Oh, the nice hip check there. So I think they got the hip and shoulder from Graham, even though she came off second best. She's got pinged for the foul.
Timeout called. 4:45 left to play here in term number 3. And on a knife's edge, Sydney by a point. They've led for a large majority of this game. In fact, Townsville's biggest lead so far is 2 points.
guys to be aware of though is if we're going to Susie, let's get Tess, you on the opposite side of Suze, okay? Once we make that catch and then Susie's throwing back across the other side, throw it over to Tess, just hold your cup for a second, Suze. Tess, get a rip on the rim. If it's not there, then just hold your spot and then let that play develop out of that.
No, look at me.
Okay?
No, go.
Here we go, let's go.
All right, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Fire.
Mark Roble filling in for Claudia Brassard, the championship-winning coach from last year, who's away on national team duties with the under-19 team, remaining calm, remaining composed. I think it might be a case of the duck on the water, though, as the fill-in coach, desperate for a home win. He's got a lot on his plate.
I want to see some fourth quarter timeouts. I think there'll be a few come-ons. Let's go, girls. But right now, Sydney Uni taking the fight to the bully. They've been very impressive.
Cox shares it now with Casey Samuels against her former team. Thought about the 3-ball, no room for the shot. Akuso wants it down low here, working against Maddie Norris. Don't fancy her chances. One on the shot clock, and they're not going to get it off on time after Samuels bobbled the pass.
Turnover number 11 for the Townsville Fire as they work their way towards their usual allotment of turnovers. But Case, as this game goes a little bit stale, go to your guns. Britt Smart, Susie Batkovic, go to the big-time players. Give them the ball, let them make something happen.
Well, Samuels picks up the dribble, skip pass, Madgen fires, can't connect. Kuso's gone down just clutching a knee. Let's hope it's not too serious. Sydney have won it back. Britt Smart, outlet pass for Ali Wilson. Fires solo, can't connect, and unable to reel in the rebound there, Maddie Norris. 2-on-1 fast break, really need to make more of that. Wilson fired quickly, and it maybe wasn't the best option. Batkovic, Madgen, given some latitude there by Britt Smart. Here's Cox, shot clock to 7. She fires from long range, can't connect. Akuso, best position, elevates and did it well with a nice soft hands to add another 2. She's got 5 in the game.
She was like a Terminator healing from that sore knee. It just got better and better. All of a sudden, straight back up to get that offensive rebound. What an effort.
Here's Wilson trying to shake former teammate Samuels. Panousis, 8 on the shot clock. Pocket pass, did well. McSpadden, well, she may have travelled. That's the call from Jackie Dover. Needed to go up strong initially and just go on with it.
Yeah, she did, but the concerning fact is, Case, just the lack of intent to get Britt Smart the ball. She's wavering on the weak side. She hasn't, I think she's only taken the one shot, a fadeaway from the short corner in this third quarter. Get her involved. She is your moneymaker. She will get you the chance to win this game.
Samuels top of the key, can't connect. Panousis the rebound for Sydney. Inside the last 3 minutes of term number 3 here in Townsville. The reigning champs against the champs from the previous year. Panousis off the mark, Akuso the rebound. Shares it now with Cox. To the 19-year-old, to the experienced 32-year-old. Batkovic, looking for experience and call for the offensive foul. Well, Shanae Greaves stood her ground hard last time and took some punishment for it. This time, as soon as there was contact, she went to the floor, and the offensive foul is called on Townsville.
High IQ play from Greaves. She's been good. Susie tries to go through the chest. Britt Smart was lurking low for the steal. Wonder if Greaves saw her, jumped high side and took it in the chest. But Case, you might have to call this game solo, because if Britt Smart doesn't shoot this next shot and they run a play for her, I'm going to run on the court and yell out to pass her the ball. So get ready, you might have to hold it down.
Well, she was 8 of 10 from the field in the first half. She's done it too since the passing side. Just had a little too much on it. It was a difficult passing lane to find, and Britt Smart was surrounded. So credit the defense from Townsville just shutting her down, perhaps.
At least it was going to the right person, Case. But yeah, I have to give credit to Townsville. They've been much better. And it's assessing her as a high alert, high danger threat.
Kuso, top of the key. Pass inboard. Cox ran into trouble in the form. Panousis forced into a tough shot. Now a chance for Ali Wilson. Good screen provided there by Greaves. Panousis. Now Britt Smart. Found an opening. Wants to put it on the floor. Ran into a double team, and she's called for the offensive foul as well. Britt Smart just a little out of control. So good help D coming from Stella Beck, standing her ground.
Just Cradler, look at the defense. Batkovic, Akuso's there as well. Stella Beck's the one who takes the charge, but just no room to move for Britt Smart. And now it's your move, Cheryl Chambers. Mark Robles done a good job with his adjustments on your superstar. What can you do to get her open?
Inside the last 2 minutes, term number 3. Single point the difference. Samuels firing from long range, can't connect. Loose ball. Cox getting into the body there of Panousis. Cox is going to be called for the foul. She doesn't like it, Michaela Cox. It's her second personal, third team foul on Townsville in this quarter.
We'll watch it here, just to clear out. A little bit of Hollywood from Panousis there as she felt the contact, but sometimes you've got to do that, Case.
Sell it. Britt Smart sits down, still with 21 points. Yet to add to that halftime tally. This is Wilson. And a good first step, got inside. Samuels feeds Panousis, and she rails it into the bottom of the net to give Sydney back the lead.
5-minute blocks. Punch, punch, punch. Little mini 5-minute games. When you're trying to take down the champs and you're undermanned.
Here's Akuso looking to create nothing on offer. Hands off to Batkovic, and there's plenty on offer when the ball gets in her hands.
There is nice poise from Susie. A big bucket.
Tied at 49. Low-scoring third quarter. Here's Reeves, baseline. Swing it to Panousis by O'Hare. Now Wilson, shot clock to 5. Caught it deep there, Maddie Norris. And inside the last 60 seconds of this third quarter, Cox forward with authority for Samuels. Batkovic. Quick whistle provided here by Scott Brown.
White 10, hold.
You just feel the intensity from the Townsville Fire lift, particularly at the defensive end. Bodies flying around, smart closeouts, running the shooters off the line, and then see Greaves just get tangled there with Susie. If you give that arm to Susie, she might not give it back.
Cox to restart, wanted Akuso. That was shut down. They retreat now and find Stella Beck, who's on the move. Samuels inside. Garvin just holding off her opponent, Maddie O'Hare there. And the 2 will count, and a chance of a 3-point play. And Cheryl Chambers with her head in her hands at the moment, just looking for an explanation.
Yeah, missed call there. We've been pretty friendly with the officials, I think, but unless I'm going senile, that whistle happened while the ball was in the air, which means I don't think you can be shooting it if the ball is in the air before you scored it.
And you're giving me this rude...
Watch it here. Might not be able to hear the whistle. Wonder if we have the audio on this play. Foul there, catch, shoot. That should be a side ball for the Townsville Fire.
Well, Akuso gets the offensive rebound off the missed free throw and banks and adds another 2. So, big swing and a 4-point lead now for Townsville. It's the biggest lead they've had at any stage. Panousis puts it on the floor, takes the bump, just couldn't get it over the front of the rim, but free throws to come now for Vanessa Panousis. Cheryl Chambers, well, not much has gone right for her for the last couple of weeks, really, with the injury to key players. We've mentioned that Alex Bunton, Talia Tapia, and Belinda Snell not travelling here to Townsville. Now she's getting some bum calls from the referees as well. She must wonder what she's done wrong.
That's right. I think that's why she was so animated. She said, look, I need you guys to get all these right. But in fairness to the officials, I think they've been really good this afternoon. 2 hard and fast teams just battling in a very important game for both these clubs.
10-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock as we head toward three-quarter time. Akuso goes to Garvin, in turn swings it to Stella Beck. Now Akuso, the youngster, the 19-year-old, shut down. Great D there, Maddie Norris. It spills to Samuels. Oh, there's no justice for Sydney there. Last play of the third quarter. And Townsville have opened up a 5-point edge. Panousis, big play. She splashes the triple just to buy her team back into the game on the three-quarter time buzzer. Oh, this has been a terrific contest between 2 desperate teams, and with a quarter to play, it's 2 the difference. Townsville 56, Sydney 54. Stay with us. An exciting term number 4 coming your way in just a moment. Welcome back to Townsville. The Sydney Flames in this right up to their necks. They trail by 2, and we're going to see Britt Smart try and arc it up here in this final quarter. Scoreless in the third after having 21 in the first half. 21 lead changes. The times the game's been tied is 5, and this has been some sort of contest, and a 5-point edge is the biggest lead that Townsville have had. Sydney by 8 in the second has been their biggest margin. Wilson for Smart. Cox all over her as she retreats away. Right down to the baseline. Kicks it to Wilson. Got a good look and she knocks it down. That's the start that Sydney needed. They retake the lead.
Great start, as you mentioned, for the Sydney Uni Flames. They need to match it on the glass case. They're minus 12 right now. They really need to keep pace. At least don't let this thing balloon out against the much bigger, more physical Townsville.
Cox gets it from Batkovic. Shot clock rolls to 5. She elevates the co-captain of the New Zealand team. Can't connect. Britt Smart with a loose ball, off and running. Wilson has Panousis in the corner. Can she nail it again? Or 2 pieces of the rim without success. Ball trickles out of court. Townsville with possession.
Well, she can pass, Alex Wilson. She's got eyes on the back of her head. The no-look touch pass to the corner. On time, on point. Right in the shooter's hands, just didn't quite get the roll.
8 assists to lead that category in the game. Townsville have 10 assists as a team. To give you an idea of how Ali Wilson has been orchestrating things here. Garvin, good use of the body there to protect the ball from Smart. Now in the paint, puts it on the floor. Greaves gave her nothing to work with, and Smart grabs the rebound. Drew plenty of attention, and Garvin getting just a little overzealous there is going to be called for the hacking foul.
Britt Smart can play on my team any day of the week. Watch her here, the littlest player in there. I'll have that, thank you. Get off me, girls. That's my ball. I might be small. I'm going to have a crack every possession.
Smart getting attention from Cox. Hands over. Vanessa Panousis with it. Working against Michaela Donnelly. 90 seconds done in the final quarter. Seesawing affair from Townsville. You're enjoying our coverage wherever you may be watching around Australia and beyond. Chemist Warehouse WNBL round 3. Shot clock to 7 now. Panousis needs to get busy. Reaching in, Darcy Garvin relieved her of possession. Big defensive play from Darcy Garvin. And the pass intended for Batkovic sails wayward and out of court.
Susie Batkovic yelling, kick it. Let's get the ball from side to side. We're a little clunky right now. We're a little predictable. And it's turnover number 14 case. If Townsville can take care of the ball, I think it'll see them get the victory. But a couple of loose sprays give this Sydney team new life.
Mahan hands over to Johnson. Turn Wilson. 2 minutes played in the final quarter. Shot clock works to 10. Johnson against Garvin. Fires unsuccessfully. Batkovic grabs rebound number 11. Another double-double going here for Susie Batkovic, who averages 21 and 11. From close range, couldn't finish it initially, Garvin, but too strong, too tall there for Johnson. She makes amends.
Just padding her stats there. Another rebound for Garvin. Very relieved when she made that second one, but her energy's been really good at the start of this fourth quarter at both ends.
Lead changes again. Here's Britt Smart against Cox. Baseline shut down by the double team, and reaching in now. Cox with the body is going to be called for the foul. It's going to be her 4th personal, 2nd team foul on Townsville in this quarter.
4th personal with 7.5 minutes. Watch it here. It certainly looked like a foul. You got her under control. You come in with the body. Easy call for the officials. And not only that, it's number 4 for a very experienced campaigner, Michaela Cox, who now has to take a seat.
Oraminci checks back in. Chance for Wilson to restart to Sarah Graham. Smart fires. Can't connect. Got it off quickly, just a little off balance. Johnson came up with a loose ball, but did it illegally, according to referee Scott Brown. And he's called for the foul. It's going to be her 2nd personal. 2.5 minutes played in the final quarter. A point the difference. It seems as though we've had a 1-point differential now almost exclusively in the second half. Biggest lead in the game, 8 points Sydney's way in the second quarter. This has been a titanic struggle. Mincy, Magic, shot clock to single numbers. They want Bakovic involved. She can't connect, but she's off to the free throw line. And Britt Smart taking one to the chops as well.
Nice pass, nice little set there. Anytime you can set the screen and get Susie Bakovic rolling to the hoop, she's going to be bigger than that help side defender 9 times out of 10. Perfectly weighted pass. And you young big girls out there, you watch Susie. Catches high, keeps it high, finish high. Doesn't bring it down for any of those little guards to have a crack at.
Building impressive numbers again. Susie Bakovic up to 18 points now, including 19 now, including 7 of 8 from the free throw line.
Can we get a heart rate monitor on Coach Mark Roble? Starting to sweat a bit like Nate Jarwife from the Taipans last night. He is feeling it.
Scored 4 unanswered points here. Townsville. Smart gets an open look. She can't connect. Johnson taps it to her own advantage on the offensive rebound. Kept it alive, draws contact, and she is off to the free throw line.
Great second effort from Amanda Johnson, and that's what you need. And just with Britt Smart, with Townsville able to keep her away from the ball in that third quarter, just able to cool her off slightly. She's missed her last couple, but Amanda Johnson knows the dirty work needs to be done. She's prepared to do it.
The most reliable conveyance from the free throw line, 1 of 5 coming into this game. And Chambers reaches for the water bottle. They need everything they can get at the moment.
The heavyweight title fight, guys. Punch for punch.
Good job from AJ Johnson. Makes the adjustment, gets the back end. Margin closes to 2. Dare I say, overtime beckons here. It's been so tight. Here's Bakovic. He's forcing off Britt Smart. Garvin, Magin in the corner. Shot clock to single digits. Picks up the dribble again. They ask the captain to produce, and again she does.
Ask and you shall receive when that player is Susie Bakovic, John Casey.
4-point edge. Wilson hands over to Johnson. Wanted Smart. That was shut down. Johnson wheeling and dealing, dances into the paint. Darcy Garvin held her at bay. Couldn't come up with it. And Townsville threatening to open up their biggest lead of the game here as Donnelly skips into the paint. Takes a hit from Greaves. It goes unwhistled somewhat surprisingly. Mincy with it now. Shot clock at 10. Magin a long way from home against Sarah Graham. Garvin, 5 on the shot clock. They need to get it happening. Here's Mincy, wants to get closer against Smart. 2 on the shot clock. Good defensive pressure there from the Flames. And now Smart leads the charge. 3 on 2 fast break. Johnson should score and does.
What a finish this is going to be. You're just joining us now. It hasn't been any big comebacks. This thing's been an arm wrestle as Susie Bakovic looks to break the deadlock.
What a play. Every time they've needed a bucket, Susie Bakovic has been the player they went to. 23 in the game now. Johnson just a little late in arriving there with a help D.
And Shania Greaves needs to realise that as well. I know the instruction from the coaching staff is to front, but if you're just coming down in transition and you're the first person down, there's obviously no one behind you. Adjust your position, wait till the help side is there, and then jump to the front side. Can't give up layups and 3-point plays.
Townsville back to a 5-point buffer. 5.5 to play. Britt Smart did well to keep that alive. With 21 points, she hasn't scored here in the second half. To get Greaves involved there. Wilson with 10 on the shot clock. Nice off the hand. She says, I'll have 3 more.
And she's got the 6-shooter out as well. She's here for a game.
Magin overdue, caught the front of the rim. Maybe not the quick release shot that Mark Roble, the assistant coach filling in for Claudia Brassard, was hoping for Townsville. Graham fires, can't connect. McSpadden, the offensive rebound, foul from behind by Susie Bakovic. That's her 4th team foul on Townsville in this quarter.
She's been really good as well, McSpadden. You know what you're going to get from her? Hard screens. She's going to crash the glass every time. The test match, she just loses her assignment on that. She's meant to get to the front, doesn't do it. And the young girl says, I'll take this, and I'll take 2 free throws as well.
19-year-old in her 3rd season in the league. Clara McSpadden, a Newcastle junior, member of Sydney's 2017 championship winning team, and is part of the Australian Sapphires under-17 championship team as well. really like what she's brought to the table, and with no Alex Bunton today, she's played a few more minutes and she's relished it and showed that she's probably due some more minutes.
Well, Coach Cheryl Chambers mentioned in the paper today up here, the Townsville Bulletin, said that she will be called upon tonight. She hasn't seen much action and she's delivered in a big, big way.
65 apiece, less than 5 minutes to play. Batkovic comes up with the goods again. 26 now for Susie. That includes 9 in this quarter. Out of the 11 her team have come up with, this has been an unbelievable display from Susie Batkovic, trying to will her team across the line. Active hands from Cox, who's out there again, harassing Britt Smart, giving her plenty to think about. Sydney starting to dry up at the offensive end. Graham reels it in, shot clock to 3. Smart baseline, gets a user-friendly roll. Her first points in the second half, and she's got 23. Will tie it away once more. Akuso against Greaves, tough shot. Lack of experience there. Really needed to find a passing lane when there wasn't much on offer, so a chance for the Flames. Wilson fires, connects, puts Sydney back in front.
Oh, and she is pumped. Look at her yell at her teammate. Let's go, girls. Let's cause an upset right here.
Inside the last 4 minutes, and Sydney back on top, 70-67. They've scored 12 points to 5 here in the last 2 minutes, when it looked as though Townsville had started to assert their authority.
She is a killer, Alex Wilson. Looks off Lara McSpadden, says, young girl, I know you're open, but I'm going to take this myself.
13 in the game now for Wilson. Shot clock to 9. Akuso can't connect. Britt Smart the rebound. Now some worrying signs for Townsville. Greaves wants McSpadden, waited for the ball outside. Now Wilson, she knocks down another. She's got 16 points here now, Wilson, including 9 in this final quarter, and the margin is out to 6.
She is cooking right now. The Townsville front line talking to each other in defensive trans, yelling back and forth. All the while, the Sydney fast break was going beautifully, and it ends in an Alex Wilson triple.
Well, she's been providing for her teammates. Now she's scoring as well.
Okay, so only a timeout, so we're going to dig. Yeah, it is. We're absolutely making him take bad shots. So we're still in that 22 back to a 21. Okay, Lara, if you see Susie rolling and you haven't got anyone, you just go get her. Okay, you decide where you need to go.
Yeah, I've just been out on the guard.
That's fine. It's fine. And we'll switch it back. That's fine. And then the guards, you're just going to box the crap out here, okay? And we look after the ball. We just keep pushing into whatever we want. Remember, hand circles giving us a good use the clock. Get out of there.
So, hey, D-Trans we've got to fix up right now. We've got to pick up the ball. No accountability to go and find your matchup. Let's just find the man in the closest area. When we get back into the half court, then you can switch back into 10. Right, let's go. Fire.
Well, heavyweight title fight going here. Susie Batkovic trying to do it for Townsville, and Ali Wilson from the Flames. Batkovic is 3 of 3 from the field here in the final quarter, but Wilson is 3 of 3 from deep here in the final quarter after being 1 of 6 from long range.
And it's hard for that girl there on screen, Susie Batkovic, just not to say to her teammates, guys, give me the damn ball and let me do it without seeming selfish. She's a really unselfish player. She knows she needs the ball.
Lob pass for Garvin, double team. Wilson from the weak side almost reels it in. Trickles out of court, 10 on the shot clock here for Townsville.
It's hard because Susie's the best passer on the team as well. She's also the best target. Unfortunately, you've only got one of her, but I'd be camping her around the front of the cup.
Madgen, catch and shoot off the inbound play test. Madgen fills it up. She's now got 6 points in the game. Her first score in this final quarter. Edges the margin back to 4. Wilson! Ali Wilson putting on a show here in the final quarter, is single-handedly holding Townsville off.
Well, a soft show there from the Townsville defense. Perhaps they didn't think it was Alex Wilson coming off.
Inside Batkovic against McSpadden. Look at the turnaround. Automatic at another 2.
Easy money every time down. Keep going to the well. This is the end you need to stop, though.
Wilson, they can't contain her at the moment. They've got Britt Smart to contend with as well. Good screen from Greaves. Wilson feeling it, fires short on the rim. Britt Smart got a piece of the action, but Donnelly snatches it away. No teammates ahead of her at the moment. She waits for support to arrive. Spins on Wilson, goes on with the dribble. That's an excellent play. How about that? From Michaela Donnelly to get her team right back into the frame. It's a 2-point spread.
Just probing Michaela Donnelly. You could see it in her eye. She wanted to make something happen. Wilson went for the gamble and Donnelly made her pay. 2-point game.
First score in the second half for Michaela Donnelly. What a time to produce it. 2:21 left on the clock. Sydney by 2. And this was excellent. Shut down initially, but just kept the dribble alive.
It was a bit of a silly gamble there from Alex Wilson. I know she's in a purple patch, but just didn't need to dive out at that steal.
So just so
she got made to pay that price.
So she's got to spit the ball and move it on and then reattach. We just got to make sure we don't leave Smart to be open.
So how about we get one to stay on Smart, everyone else
Yeah.
rotate?
Yeah.
So we're trapping on Wilson.
Yes. And just zone off the other two.
So you've got to have vision, have a look around and talk.
Got to just keep.
Whoever's got Susie is coming back for the pick and roll. Doesn't matter if you're the first one or the second one, it doesn't matter. We'll get Britt back up here and spot up our shooters, okay? Here we go. Sydney.
Terrific access from both coaches right into the heart of the situation here. Cheryl Chambers and Mark Roble, who's filling in for Claudia Brassard, is on national team duties. But no other sport can provide access like that. Take you inside the game, 2 minutes to play, game on the line. This is what we're going to do.
Oh, the access is second to none, Case, and we heard Townsville say, don't leave Britt Smart, whatever you do. And Sydney, they want to drag Big Susie out into this on-ball screen with Alex Wilson. Come back and set it, get her involved.
Smart against Cox. Now Bakovic takes over. They can't afford to foul. Susie doesn't like it. She's bordering on a technical there, but that's 5 on Townsville this quarter. Free throws to come for Sydney.
And that's exactly why Cheryl Chambers wanted to go at Susie Bakovic. Either draw the foul, make her work hard. Susie, sometimes she hard shows, she jumps out, doesn't quite get position. Just that left arm, that hand check there, that's what she got called for the foul.
First trip to the free throw line for Britt Smart this afternoon. 2 of 4 from the free throw line this season coming into this game. I'll remind you, Sydney 0-3 on the season. Faced with a 0-4 start, are doing all they can to stay alive here. Good defense there from Darcy Garvin as she shut down Shanae Greaves from close range. That's a big play for Townsville, particularly if Susie Bakovic can connect here. Cox, the offensive rebound, reaching in. Smart's going to be called for the foul. That's the 4th team foul on Sydney in this quarter. So now they're on the red zone.
Got to come up with those plays if you're trying to cause the upset on the road. They've done a great job taking care of the ball, but Susie Bakovic doesn't miss too often, and when she does, you better come up with that rebound.
Whistle off the ball here. Graham may have been inconveniencing Michaela Cox, and if it is a foul on Sydney,
14, hold.
it's going to be free throws to come. They're over the limit.
Thank you. 2 shots, lady.
So free throws to come.
It's a rookie mistake from Lyra McSpadden. Just play solid defense. You're in the bonus. No time comes off the clock, and Darcy will look to eat into that 3-point lead.
Townsville 11 of 14 from the free throw line in the game. Sydney 8 of 10. Garvin, calmly, coolly, ices it from the free throw line. 8 points in the game now for her, and Sydney by 1 with possession. Terrific contest. You wouldn't believe these teams are 7th and last on the ladder. Wilson looked like an offensive foul on it. Well, she just went too hard at Michaela Donnelly, drew the contact, and it's an offensive foul.
What a play and what a time to come up with it. Michaela Donnelly, nice penetration here from Graham, the wraparound pass, no space to go. Knows that Alex Wilson, I should say, can only attack the baseline because McSpadden and her defender are there. Donnelly beats it to the spot.
Chance for Townsville to retake the lead here. Little over 90 seconds left to play. Donnelly. They'll be looking for Susie Bakovic. Here she is. Look at the double team arrive. She's coughed it up. It's cut out by Wilson. She's got Smart up the floor quickly. Likewise, Sarah Graham. And a chance for Sydney here to extend a one-point advantage. Neither team can afford to foul. Wilson. Shot clock to single numbers. Wants a screen. Now fires from deep. It's off the mark. Loose ball. McSpadden couldn't keep it alive. And here comes Michaela Donnelly. Madgen with it. Cox ahead of her. Garvin rolls to the hoop. Bakovic. They share it around. Donnelly puts it on the floor. Reaching in. Great defensive play from Britt Smart to shut it down.
This healthy crowd here in Townsville has their heart in their mouth at the moment as we watch the Michaela Donnelly penetration, but Britt Smart, active hands, able to put a stop to the possession.
Madgen looking for Bakovic. Lob pass, had a little too much on. Unsportsmanlike foul has been called here on Sinead Greaves. I'm not quite sure about that.
I think by letter of the law case, referee Scott Brown has said that the ball, there's no possession. You cannot foul until someone catches the ball in the last 2 minutes. That ball is in the air, no possession, foul, automatic unsportsmanlike.
Susie Bakovic to the free throw line. 8 of 9 from the stripe at 88% so far. And they get a little tougher to make when you're inside the last 60 seconds.
Oh, they do indeed, even for Hall of Famers and players as good as Susie Bakovic is. This crowd right behind this one.
Well, she ties it away and they've got possession as well.
And that rule case, that's to stop you just fouling someone to take time off the clock without any time coming off. Ball comes in, then you can foul. Not until then.
Cheryl Chambers up out of her chair. Sydney have done so well here. But now it's a chance for Townsville to retake the lead. They started this quarter leading by 2. Never led by more than 5. And the shot clock at 5 tests. Madgen's overdue. Can't connect. Wilson the rebound. Going to be a 20-second differential on the game clock and the shot clock. So Townsville will get it back. Quick release, couldn't finish it. McSpadden may have been getting into the back of her opponent over the back, so we'll walk to the other end of the floor and free throws now for Townsville to take the lead.
And you might need to take McSpadden out of the game here purely for experience. No, you're out of position, you're no chance of getting that ball. You've got to back away from that play there. Now they're going to walk 90 feet with a chance to take the lead. Just assess those situations and pick which ones are the winnable ones.
Darcy Garvin, 7 of 8 from the free throw line coming into this game. 2 of 3 so far tonight. Her sister played for Australia in the netball this afternoon. And now she's got the team here in Townsville hinging on her free throws to take the lead. The deep gene pull there. The Garvin family can't finish the back end there. Loose ball out of court. Last touch by Michaela Donnelly. We're just getting into the back of Sinead Greaves there, and the referees will give possession to Sydney.
Darcy was quite dirty on her sister as well, said, "You got to play your game right when I've got a TV game. You're killing me."
So a 1-point ball game. Sydney behind, but with possession. 11-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. They'll want Smart and Wilson involved here. And the pass almost picked up by Bakovic. They get it inside. Sarah Graham scored the first points of the game. Maybe just can't finish there. And a quick foul is on Sydney, so more free throws to come. Michaela Donnelly will walk to the other end of the floor.
Great hands from Sinead Greaves. Picked that one off her bootlaces. We see the end of the play here. Good long rebound from Donnelly, tracking it down, and she'll be asked to make some free throws to make it a 3-point game.
Sinead Greaves fouls out of the game. That was number 5 on her. And what a great performance it's been against, or without, their leading centre, Alex Bunton. She's had to shoulder a lot of the burden, and she's done a great job at 5 fouls. And she leaves with 6 points in the game, and a team just down 1 at the moment.
Well, this is the nerves in playing in a game that you're supposed to win. You are the champs, playing a winless Sydney.
Donnelly makes the adjustment, gets the back end. So Townsville by 2, but Sydney call timeout, 18.5 seconds to play. Surely you push for the 2 and try and force overtime rather than the 3 ball and take the glory. Cam, what are your thoughts on that?
I want overtime, but purely from a selfish point of view, is I don't want this game to end, Case. This thing's had everything. It's been a real arm wrestle. We've seen some great shooting, some great coaching. But I think, yeah, you go inside for the quick 2, especially when you sit at 0-3. You really need a win here.
Of course, our mics aren't allowed into the huddle inside the last 2 minutes of the quarter, so we're unable to give you the audio of this, but you can tell by the looks on the faces of the respective coaches that this is a nervous time for them. And Sydney, well, you'll take this, wouldn't you? 18.5 seconds with the ball, chance to win the game, coming in on a 0-3 record against the reigning champs and without 3 of your studs.
You would take it, and whatever way this game pans out, it's been an incredible effort by the Sydney Uni Flames and their leader, Cheryl Chambers. But if they don't get the chocolates, Case, unfortunately, the sell, and all it's going to look like is 0-4, which is a big hole to dig yourself out of.
Yep, the Sydney Flames, last year's semi-finals champions the year before, 4-time championships, in fact. And so it's all come down to this. Doing it without Sinead Greaves as well, who's fouled out. Allie Wilson to restart. 14 on the shot clock, so 4.5 second differential. Here's Britt Smart guarded by Cox. Townsville cannot afford to foul. Cox has 4 personals. Smart looking for Graham, decides to go solid. There's no room for the shot. She stepped through. She travelled, according to referee Jackie Dover.
Big call from Jackie Dover there. I'd like to see that one again. Watch the footwork here. Yeah, no, spot on. Well done by the rookie official. That call was 100% correct. The little slide, a little 2-step.
Cheryl Chambers looking for an explanation, but I think the replay suggested there she shuffled the feet. So a brave call from Jackie Dover in her first WNBL game. With 8 seconds, 7.5 in fact, in the game, just 2 points the difference. It's a major call.
A real gutsy call, and props to her for having a crack at it and getting it right. So fantastic. She might be on the grand final this year if she keeps this up.
And props also to Townsville there, who held their nerve when Britt Smart was trying to get something happening. When you don't have the ball, it's the worst place to be in, and you're trying to defend, do everything you can. You can't afford to foul, and now Townsville, a 2-point lead and possession.
Certainly an uphill battle. I'm not sure what that play was, Case. We saw Britt Smart kind of just dribble at Sarah Graham, the 2 smallest players on the court, into a little guard-to-guard handoff that went wrong, and Britt Smart just got trapped with the ball and forced into a turnover.
Here it is again. She shuffles her feet, changed the pivot, foot just moved across there. Well done to Jackie Dover, who joined us late. Sydney led by 3 at quarter time, Townsville by 1 at the half and by 2 at 3/4 time, and we've got 7.5 seconds. Presumably Sydney will foul. They really don't have any option. Smart looking to draw a jump ball, but the foul's been called by Jackie Dover, and I think it's on AJ Johnson from behind. Free throws to come, but it's not over just yet. You see Johnson from behind.
2 shots, let's go.
Well, I thought Smart committed the foul for mine, I think she was trying to. She went chop on the arms, and then Johnson grabbed the ball. Johnson might have been pinged for the foul, but I thought the initial one was taken by Britt Smart. Nonetheless, Susie Baktovic will go to the line and try and make this a 2-possession game. She can knock down both shots.
29 points, 12 rebounds. Fouled her 8 times. She's 9 of 11 from the stripe. And off the front of the rim. So this, to make it a 3-point buffer. User-friendly roll off the rim onto the backboard and in it falls. So Townsville lead by 3. Timeout called with 5.4 seconds remaining. They're going to have to come up with a miracle play here, Sydney. It's been such a brave fight.
It has, and don't put it past them, Kays. They've been outstanding, and they've got some bombers. Alex Wilson, Britt Smart, obviously hot in the first half. They've been a real tag team combination. So if you're Townsville Fire, you need to load up on those 2 and make someone else beat you.
Yeah.
Well, there will be little consolation, as you suggested. What they've shown here today is certainly something to build on, even if they don't get the result. But it is ugly looking at 0-4 start to the season. And it's a long way to come back.
It is, and I've been there in teams like this, and you rock up to training on Monday morning and Cheryl goes, we're right there, guys. The reinforcements are coming back, but the ladder, the hole still looks at 0-4. It is a tough one to get out of.
Well, the 3 games that Townsville have played this season have all been decided by 10 points or less. So this one's going to be a 4th one for them. They're 1-2. Sydney 0-3. 5.4 seconds remaining. Sydney need a 3 to force overtime. Britt Smart to inbound the ball and expect to see her get it back. Wilson with it. Here's Graham firing. It's off the mark. Loose ball. Akuso gets after it, and that is all. Townsville escape. The 3-ball from Sarah Graham, who knocked down the opening 3 of the game. She came up empty, and in a titanic struggle, it's Townsville who prevail here. In the final analysis, they win it by 3, 79-76. Oh, that was some sort of ride. Trust you've enjoyed it wherever you may be watching. A terrific contest between the reigning champs and the previous season champs. And there was never more than 8 points in it at any stage in the game. In fact, Townsville's biggest lead all game was 5. And the Sydney Uni Flames, so brave, had a 6-point lead in that last quarter. But it's Townsville who prevail. Here's Cam Tregar.
Well, Susie, these games are never easy. They're not meant to win. They're undermanned. How was that for you guys?
Yeah, look, it's a tough day in the office for us tonight. But the pleasing thing is we got the win, and we found a way to win when, we were struggling tonight on both ends at times. But, we still haven't found our flow yet, and I feel like it's coming, but it just hasn't quite got there. But I'm proud of the girls. At least we didn't give up, and we kept fighting. We were down at one point, not probably 3 minutes to go, but, Sydney went on a roll, and I feel like we sort of found a way to just get a collective few stops on D.
You're 2-2 now. You were 2-2 last year. You won the championship. How's the feel from last year to this year?
Yeah, look, coming into this game, I thought the same thing. There's obviously a lot of people, there's a lot of wins and losses, and the league's a bit strange at the moment with, predictions especially. But look, it's not panic stations for us. Exactly right. We were 2-2 last year at the start of the season, and we won the championship. So it's no panic stations. We've just got to keep working.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Oh, Susie Bakovic, she's done it again. Hard to believe. 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 of 13 from the stripe, and Townsville prevail. They've got the better of Sydney in a titanic struggle where there was never more than 3 points separating the teams at each of the 3 breaks. But full time here in Townsville, 79, Sydney 76. Trust you've enjoyed our coverage. Been one hell of a ride here in the WB, and we'll come back with more for you from Townsville in just a moment. Welcome back to Townsville. It has been quite an escape here for the Townsville Fire against the Sydney Flames. Really didn't deserve to be a loser here today, and great to see the Sydney Uni Flames coach Cheryl Chambers just behind us, rallying around her players as well, high-fiving them all, because they put up one hell of a display without 3 of their key players. They were right in it, right to the end of the game there, Cam Tregar.
They were a huge effort from the undermanned Flames, and they do need to take something from this. I know it will read 0-4, but those star players coming back in, paired with that could be something special.
Let's have a look at the Chemist Warehouse match analysis for you, because never more than 8 points between these teams at any stage. And Susie Bakovic, in the end, was able to pilot her team across the line with 30 points and a dozen rebounds. And there you see the numbers for them. And the turnover count, well, in the end it evened up, but it got the rebound count at 56-43 was an edge that Sydney were battling uphill against all night. And Susie Bakovic, well, how many games has she won on her own hand? She did it again here.
Well, she looks so relieved after the game, and she's done it time after time, and her team seems to get younger and younger every year, and she's got to do more and more. But the absolute warrior of our game, she stood tall again when it mattered.
She's just able to step up to the plate and steer her team home, and we saw there during the timeout deep in that 4th quarter that she was also able to just provide some direction for the team as well. Without Claudia Brassard, their head coach, is away on national team duty, just trying to help out Mark Roble, the assistant coach.
Oh, she did great. A very strong voice in the timeout, and I'm sure Robes would have been very appreciative of that. But Townsville, just the 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter, when it mattered, the championship pedigree stood tall.
Chemist Warehouse WNBL continues next week, and it's going to be the Melbourne Derby coming your way, with Dandenong playing host to Melbourne Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern is where you will find the action. Good game written all over that one as well between the two Melbourne teams. And at the moment, well, so early in the season, these wins are so important. Townsville back on an even keel now at 2-2.
And I don't think Suze feels the same way at 2-2 this year as last year. She knows they've got some demons that they need to exercise. She spoke about the unpredictability of outcome. It's anyone's game this year, Case.
Yeah, sure is. Trust you've enjoyed our coverage today from Townsville. On behalf of Camp Trigard, I'm John Casey. Hope you can join us again when we next see you on the WNBL coverage here on Fox Sports.